I don't know if this will work or not. We'll try it.
On YouTube.
Pairing the live stream. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with just Zoom open. If I can do it this way, it'd be much, much easier. And then I won't have an intro or anything, but at least it will fucking work. So let's see here. Okay. Scott's personal meeting room is what it says here. So I don't know if there's something else I have to click now. Stop live stream. Well, it says we're live. Let's see. Oh, shit. We are live on YouTube through Zoom. Wow. And we are actually streaming live through Zoom. I did not know if this would work. Well, welcome back, everybody. To make it a little bit easier on my computer and to actually be able to do a live stream, I just popped this over straight onto Zoom. I'll go back and change the name of this meeting. It says Scott's Personal Meeting Room is the name of the show. BlackCat Whiteface. We are here. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to your Vape at 5. I'm your host. I got Nick Devine with me. We just did a show. I'm going to end up deleting that one just because I couldn't keep it live. But now that we have everything live again, we are back in business. So how's it going, Nick? What's going on, man?
Not much. It's going pretty good. Pretty good. Getting ready for tonight's show.
Very good. What you got going on tonight?
It's Coil plays tonight, but I think we're going to take it easy and do somebody had a good idea to just like do a midterm review. So I have, all the coils I do in Coil class, I install them in RDAs and leave them in there. Like I have all these old RDAs. So now I got like 40 RDAs with all the builds in them.
How many actual RDAs do you have?
Over 100.
Do you really?
Yeah. It's got to be like 150 at this point.
And you just, so do you switch your RDAs every day in Vape, or do you just like stick to one?
Every half an hour I switch my RDA.
Shut the fuck up. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's like a couple RDAs I vape all the time, and then sometimes like last night I just pulled out the Phobia because there was nothing in it. I put coils in the Phobia, and now I'm vaping that. I just kind of just switch them about, but now like these like the builds in here in these RDAs are just going to stay in there, and I'll never vape them again. So I'm probably only going to have like at the end of this whole thing, I'm probably only going to have like 20 RDAs that I'm able to just build and shuffle out. Those will just move my favorite vaping RDAs. But like I have like 7 goons. I got like 7 Twisted Messes 24s. I got like a whole bunch of like different RDAs like that. A couple of like my favorites. I have a lot of them.
I end up, I had a lot of RDAs. I end up giving all mine away. Except for the ones that I really, really like, I'll keep. But typically, I just end up giving stuff away, man. It's a really good way. It's a really good way to get back to the patrons, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like something you can give them that, I'm not going to use it anymore. But at the same time, I don't have a lot of like great builds in them. Like I'm sure like with the builds you have in them, it kind of, you want to keep them and things like that. So I get it. But I typically like vape one for a week, review it, and then give it away. Are you going to start doing more reviews? How many reviews are you doing now?
I haven't done one in a while. I actually I wouldn't mind reviewing RDAs and maybe a whatchamacallit here and there, like a device here and there. But I think I'm going to start moving away from it. I think I'm going to get rid of all the the sponsors and stuff too. I don't have time for it, and I honestly just don't like doing it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, because now I feel like the stuff that I get, like I'm in a weird situation where people send me stuff to promote most of the time. Mm-hmm. So a review makes no sense to me. I can't badmouth it anyway because I'm they're giving it to me to promote on my Instagram. So for me to go on my Instagram and say this is the best device and then tell you the truth on YouTube, it's getting hard, especially when people want to send me all these Saltnik devices, and I just don't really care for Saltnik devices, first of all.
Yeah.
So since
you don't use a pod system ever, like you don't take one with you when you sell.
Yeah, I use a pod system every day. Yeah, but it's like we don't need all these pod systems. There's a couple good ones. Like if a company has more than one pod system, that's ridiculous to me.
It is.
Actually,
like Smoke has like 4 of them now.
Yeah,
4 or 5.
Like we should be at a part in the vaping that you should be able to come out with the best one, and maybe like 2 years later come out with a new one. It's just it always seems like a money grab. Like everything just seems like a money grab. And
I think the thing that frustrates me is the research and development they're using to make all these pod systems is taking away from the devices, the open system devices that I like.
mm-hmm.
And it's also taking away production, all that away from RDAs, even like tanks and things like that. And it hurts my vaping style. Now, do I like pods? I do, because I love Salt Nick. And I would hate to say, but I think I'm kind of addicted to Salt Nick, if that makes like I like crave it more so than I crave like freebase nicotine.
Yeah.
So it's probably not good. And I tend to hold in that when I hit a pod system, which is probably not good, I tend to hold it in longer.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I don't know, it really probably health wise, it probably isn't as very good for me to do that, but I do.
Yeah, I think that's how lots of people feel, is it's more addictive. And Salt Nick's good for a couple of reasons. Like I like it a lot because when I'm at work and I'm busy, I can't be vaping on 0.3 milligram for 10 minutes to get my nicotine fix.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that Salt Nick device. I take 2 hits off of it.
Yeah.
They're always small, so that's great. But then like I was like asking people like, how much is Salt Nick? And
it's pricey.
I heard it's the same. I heard it's damn near the same amount.
And
no, okay. We're talking about the 2 different things. What I'm talking about is if you were to DIY, what's the difference in price between Salt Nick and regular nicotine? If you're DIYing, it's like the same price.
I have no idea.
Why is it so much more expensive for a smaller bottle of Salt Nick? It makes
it last longer.
Yeah, but like that's a money grab, because they used to do that we used to get 15 milligram bottles of juice. Yeah. And now I'm looking back, like the whole time you didn't have to charge us that, because now we're getting 100 milligrams for $25.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And the thing about it is, it's honestly, economically, it's going to be pretty much the only way people are going to be able to go, especially with the state taxes that are coming in at like 10 cents a milliliter. You get 30 milliliters of Salt Nick, you can use that. I'll go. It'll take me a month and a half to go through a bottle of Salt Nick, on the pod system. Whereas I'll go through, I open a bottle, 60 mils of freebase juice, and it's gone. 120, it's gone pretty soon. I mean, I don't know how long it takes me, but it goes pretty quick. A lot quicker than Salt Nick does. Weeks rather than months.
Yeah.
So, you're going to save money there with the taxes and everything. So I heard you were doing some research on life on other planets. What's this about? Are you into conspiracies, Nick? I'm a conspiracy guy. Do you know that?
I just figured. I pegged you as a conspiracy guy the first time I laid eyes on you.
Because I'm stupid looking? Because I'm a hillbilly? Is that why? Prejudice?
Nah, it's not the hillbilly thing. It's probably that hat that says "Don't tread on me."
Don't tread on me.
Yeah.
Live free or die.
Mm-hmm.
Die.
Yeah. That's right. So it might be the hillbilly thing. At least you're not a goddamn redneck.
No, I'm not a redneck at all.
I think
I'm very not a redneck.
I think my neck's pretty red. I don't know.
That's a working man's neck.
Yeah.
Not a redneck.
You see my tan?
That's a nice tan.
All right.
I like that tan. All right, so what do you got? So let's go into this life on other planets thing. So what's going on with that?
So do you think there's life on other planets?
Oh, like,
honest, do you think?
There has to be.
Yeah. Because the universe is so big, right?
Yeah. The universe, there is now. This is like what I remember from a long time ago. But there's apparently like 40,000 stars in our galaxy, and there's like 1 million galaxies. So just think about that. Like, how logically could there not be life on other planets somewhere in those billion, trillion, whatever planets that are around?
See, I believe the same. I believe there is. I don't think we've ever been in contact with one of them, though.
You don't think so?
Have you ever heard of people saying that because the universe is so big and it just keeps growing and growing, and like being on Earth, that was like a lucky thing. Like we're lucky. Like that's why our our planet works is because we're lucky to be that far from the sun, and it's kind of a 1 in a million shot, but there's billions and billions of stars. So that could have happened many a times. So have you ever heard somebody saying that the universe is so big that there's another black cat white face on another planet?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Doing the
so
same
big that it's
thing?
more chances that there is. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, if you think that, do you think there's another N. Divine, and do you think he's better than me?
The better you, and just like in general?
Yeah. Like all together?
No.
Probably not, right?
I don't think he's better than you. You're pretty good, Nick. You're a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
That's how I explain you. When people ask me about you, you're like, oh, you know Nick? I'll be like, yeah, I know Nick. I'll be like, he's a really good guy.
You should be like, this is what you should be like. You know, Nick, you knew him within the last like 6 years. He's a good dude then, right? But if they know, they're like, yeah, I know him way back. They're probably like, don't say that, because they're probably like, he's not a good dude.
And I'll tell you something about just a personal between you and I. You guys are getting in on a personal conversation Nick and I are having here. But you know how I knew you were a good guy? Because one time you were talking, and you were talking about your ex, that your daughter's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about this, how good of a relationship you had with her, and how you were like kept in touch, and you weren't dating, but you were like kept in touch with her, and you're like did things with her and with the family and everything. I was like, he must be a really good guy, because that's a really cool thing to do. And it's hard for people to do that, and there has to be a lot of compromise and a lot of like ego getting pushed down to like, hey, I gotta, this is for my daughter and not for me, type thing. So I was like, that's what like keyed me in, that you were a good guy, and you've always lived up to that expectation since then. And
that's really funny, because I get that. I actually get that a lot because of that reason. Like she'll say it all the time. She's like, fucking my friends think I'm lucky to find it, because like they're in Philadelphia, there's lots of dads that'll just skip the road. I'm one of the kids that my dad just skipped the road, and that's probably why I'm like that, is because my values are very different, because I grew up without a real father, so I know what it's like. So that's very important to me, to like keep the family together no matter what. And I just couldn't imagine, like, I understand, think like when you love something so much, like another person, that the hate is that much more. But it's just like when you, like, if you have a wife and you guys get into a fight, your fight's probably really bad, because you guys know what gets at each other so much. You just know that.
Yeah.
So, but for me, how I think of it is, how could you have a kid with somebody that you're going to absolutely hate? Like, that's a hard concept for me to get. Like, I would never have a kid with somebody that I could possibly hate in years down the line. So you kind of just have to put that. I mean, if you love your kids that much, you're able to do that. That's just how I think of it.
You can't always pick who you have kids with, though.
Exactly.
It just happens. And like my whole thing was, I did pick who I had a kid with, and we really don't get along that much anymore, and there's a lot of history behind that.
Exactly.
And again, we were together for like almost 15 years. You know what I mean? But I think you make a good point. Somebody didn't really think about, when you are with somebody a whole lot, they know what buttons to push on you.
Oh yeah.
And they know what they're going to say to you that's going to piss you off, and because they see the reaction. And the key to winning any argument, in my opinion, is to not get angry. And the key to not getting angry is to not let somebody know when they say something to you that really pisses you off. And when it especially when it's a female, because you can't do anything when you argue with a female as a male. You can't do anything. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, like, Nick and I have a certain level of respect for each other. We'll argue, but we're not going to go to a certain point, because we both know at a certain point it's not going to be an argument anymore. And neither of us want to get, like, I don't want to get punched in the face. You want to get punched in the face? I mean, you might kick whoever, no matter who kicks whose ass, you're still going to get punched in the face a few times. Nobody wants. Somebody's
going to feel bad at the end. If two people don't feel bad at the end, somebody's going to feel really bad at the end.
Somebody's going to be chewing on their teeth, and somebody's going to have a black eye, and nobody wants to do that. So with a female, though, you can't let, like, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, you can't let them know. So getting your buttons pushed and things like that, that's something you, as a man, you just have to be able to keep your emotions in check. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. I tell my son that all the time. Biggest thing to being a man is not how tough you are. Biggest thing is being able to stay calm and keep your emotions in check. That's being a man. Is fucking providing for your family and keeping things in check.
Yeah, that's
flipping out.
That's something I heard in actually rehab. I was actually lucky enough to get a really good like young psychiatrist that was like I really enjoyed how he taught stuff. He was like a young guy. I think he was younger than me actually, and he had like tattoos all up and down, and he was my psychiatrist, and we used to talk about stuff, and he used to like give me all this like literature on. I had lots of like anger issues. Most addicts do. They just have lots of just like anger and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
give me these like pamphlets that told you like the one main message that he liked to preach was nobody gets you mad, you get yourself mad.
Right.
And he had all these pamphlets on it, and when I read through it, it made like a whole bunch of sense. I still have them somewhere. I keep saying this. I still have them because I like these pamphlets so much that just the fact that nobody gets you mad, you're the one that gets you mad.
It's all the reaction to what's being said.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things that you should not say to someone, you know, there's certain things that, you know, as a society, we can't have people saying that to each other. And there's arguments on that because I have free speech. Yeah. But if I walk in to a group of, you know, LBG, you know, a group of gay and lesbian, I start screaming, you know, derogatory terms, and I deserve to get my ass kicked because you're not that is not so you can't do that. And that's the things you can't do. But, you know, at the same time, there are things that get you mad, but getting mad at just a drop of a hat or a situation, that's what you got to be able to control. You know what I mean? That's what you got to be able to control.
That's how I feel about it too, is you could say whatever you want, but you're also going to have to accept whatever consequences you get. And then the person that gives you the consequences is going to have to accept the consequences of what they do. So
absolutely,
if somebody comes into a room and starts yelling FN, FN, and then somebody whoops their ass for it, and then that person gets locked up for whooping their ass. I mean, everybody has to just take what they get. I mean, that's just a part of life. You got to deal with some assholes sometimes. And then you have to deal with consequences.
Consequences. That's another thing I try to teach my kids too. Is there's consequences to every action. Like they used to talk about doing stuff in school, and I'd be like, "Yeah," I was like, "You know, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. No, one thing you have to do is there's two things. You have to pay taxes, and you have to die. That's the only two things you have to do in this life. Everything else is your choice. And if you don't want to do it, don't do it. There's consequence though. You know, you're gonna be working at a gas station, like pissed at life and mad at everybody else because you made these decisions, but that's what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah, that's that's a good one. There's lots of lessons that you could teach kids that it's funny when you look at kids because you could tell them whatever, and sometimes just shit they don't think. It is funny how kids are. They don't think you're that smart, do they? They think that oh, he's been this age all of his life. No, I actually feel like I was your age like 2 weeks ago. I was like your age. I don't know why you're not listening to me. I literally just went through this.
Yeah. There's a lot there, but it'll never ever change either.
No.
It'll never change because there'll never be a point where a kid will actually listen to their parents and do what they say because they want to try and do it on their own. I think a lot of kids sometimes want to see if that's as bad as they think it's going to be. And that's where you get the naivety, is how you say it, of these things that happen in their life. So anyway, let's get back to the alien thing. So I heard the other day that the U.S. government actually has a budget to research alien life or research of UFOs. Did you hear this?
I didn't, but I thought I knew that. Yeah, I thought that I knew that they did have that. I mean, yeah, I think
it's like something. It's like millions of dollars they spend per year to research UFOs, and they have like actual pilots. That there was one they're showing the other day. The guy was laughing. He's like, "What the fuck is that?" He's like laughing, watching this object like do these like turns and shit in the fucking air. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
I think it's the Russians. Is what I think.
Yeah, that I wish they would tell us everything because they definitely ain't telling us everything. I think that would pull a lot of people together if they knew for a fact that there was other life on other planets. I think that would bring people together a lot more.
We would unite.
Yeah,
we're all mad at each other because we're separate groups, whether it be ethnicity or religion or whatever. But like if another being came down here that had like 4 eyes, we would all unite to fight them. Yeah. Having a common enemy is a great way to unite people. It really is.
Or
Find a
even
dick and make them the enemy, and then get everybody against them.
even if it's not an enemy, even if they were like, yeah, I come from 5,000 planets away, I passed about 300 planets that had life on it to get to here, and you would notice how small you were and how this planet would have to stick together in order to survive. And because that's basically, somebody asked me that in a show. I think they were joking around, like, what do you think the meaning of life is? I gave it to them. I was like, I think it's just like to do our best to make everybody even, because I believe in reincarnation. I do.
Yeah.
It's just something I believe in. It's not even something I really even think about. I just believe it. I don't know what it is. I just feel it. And
I think it's a positive way to look at, I think the finality of death is certainly something that is almost overwhelming for somebody. We can't comprehend it.
yeah,
It's hard to comprehend the finality of it. And it's scary. I'm not scared of it. I used to be. I'm not anymore. But a lot of people are.
I think, but see, I don't believe in like reincarnation. Like I'm gonna know. Like obviously I wouldn't know because I was somebody else before. I believe I'm just gonna die and be dead. But I believe that we're all one thing in this whole little world thing. Like we're all we're just all one in one world.
We're all just one big. We're all just a cuticle under somebody's fingernail.
Yeah, it just keeps cycling.
We didn't smoke marijuana before this show, just so anybody knows.
No.
It's not a stone conversation. We're both stone cold sober. So we got a comment in chat here. Clayton has there's a show or a documentary that called 411 Missing. Have you heard of this by this guy named Dave Paulides? I don't know his actual last name or how it's pronounced, but have you heard of Missing 411?
Yes. That I think he might have been on Joe Rogan, I think.
He is the guy who basically saying that there is an issue or something going on in the national forest, and people are disappearing, and there's a lot of commonalities between how they're disappearing, and a lot of them are kind of common sense. Like he talks about how long the searches are and things like that. Well, they can only expend so many resources before they say we've covered this area that they're not there. You can't just search for them until you find them. You know what I mean? That's just not economically, they can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, there's some weird things like how they all take their clothes off, I think is one of them. And how they're all like, there's like 4 or 5 different things. I should look it up real quick. There's like 4 or 5 commonalities that he brings into, and then people start looking at the different cases. And I'm a big guy on unsolved missing people. I listen to a show called Trace Evidence. I don't know if you ever listen to that. It's a podcast, and they talk about like different cases. And there's this guy named Brian Lawson. Have you ever heard of this guy? Brian Lawson. Familiar. So the case is pretty famous, but basically this guy gets in an argument with his girlfriend somewhere in like, I believe it was in like Montana. I don't know. I think it was in Texas. It is in Texas. And he gets in an argument with his girlfriend, and then he drives away. And then like, he's going to his dad's house, which is like 2 hours away. And then like an hour later, he makes a phone call to 911, and it's all garbled and you can't really understand what he's saying. Well, they've deciphered what he actually says. And he says, basically, somebody got shot. They're chasing me, like blah, blah, blah. And then the phone hangs up, and they go there. They find his truck is broken down. They find it, but they never find him. And like, there's all these series, like nobody knows. This guy fucking vanished. He vanished. And literally, like people showed up literally like right after the phone call, and he wasn't there. And there's no there's no evidence of what even happened to him. No blood, no nothing. Really fucking interesting. Brian Lawson, if you haven't seen that one, that's one that will like, your mind will be like, what the fuck happened to this guy? It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's like the Bermuda Triangle where
all that shit, yeah.
Disappear.
Clayton is really promoting this Missing 411. He's really promoting it.
I fucking grabbed Joe Rogan by the fucking throat, and I said, get him the fuck on. And he ignored him.
He grabbed him by the throat?
That's what he said? Oh, no, he told him. He told him 5 times. Clayton and Joe Rogan are very tight.
Are they really? He knows them?
He probably just messaged them. Just so you guys know, Joe Rogan doesn't read comments.
He doesn't. Yeah, I wouldn't either if I was him.
Yeah, right.
Missing 411 missing. Or is it missing 411 conspiracy? An investigation on missing 411. Bring this up here. Frostwolf Studios dropping it. How you doing, man? Frostwolf Studios. This guy's awesome. Good to see you, brother. He is a growth stream. He does growth streams and other things like that to help your channels grow. He's really awesome guy. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, and definitely if you're a content creator and you haven't subscribed to him, give him a sub, man, because he is all about helping out and growing the community, meeting different people from different types of, because it's hard to grow like just in the vaping community. You know what I mean? Like, and he's got people from all different types of YouTube channels that subscribe to him and hang out. It's pretty cool. So if you haven't subscribed to him, I definitely would. So he's got 1,440 missing person cases under the heading missing 411. 1,440 people.
Just missing, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I want to go missing sometimes.
I don't know, you don't, because if you go missing, you're pretty much dead. Like, what percentage of those people are probably still alive? Like, it's low, like 1% probably are still alive. That's 14 people. Right.
How long do you think you could live in the woods?
3 hours.
By yourself.
3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours. I'd be dead as fuck. Yeah, 3 hours. I know nothing about surviving at all. I've watched every episode of Survivor, man. I still know nothing. I wouldn't be able to start a fire. I wouldn't be able to build shelter. I would just sit in a ball and cry until I was dead. Like literally, okay. So let me give you an example. I've talked about this before. Nick, have you seen the show called Alone?
I think you've told me about it.
The Alone show. It's basically they drop, there's 14 contestants, 15 contestants. They take them to a remote area of the world. They drop them off in different places, each person. And the game is that you have to survive as long as you possibly can. Well, they don't tell you when other people are quitting. You just stay on this area and survive. And the longer you can survive without hitting your satellite phone and telling them to come get you, you can win. And you can win $500,000. If you make it, if you're the one who stays there the longest, but literally you're going to have to stay there like 150 days to make it, to win.
Good money. That's good money for
$500,000, and you're going to have to stay there but you don't know. So the whole thing about it is you don't know how long other people have stayed. You don't know when they're leaving, and ultimately they will come get you when you win, but they don't really tell you how much after the last person leaves they're going to come get you. So you could be there and you could have won. You don't know. So It's kind of a mind fuck. I watched this show, and Veronica and I are watching it. It's a very popular show. I like shows like that. So we had this conversation, and they showed the guy dropping him off in the boat, and he like gets off the boat and he's like walking around, starts making his shelter, and he's got a big old Rambo knife. He's gonna find the compass and all that bullshit with his knife. And Veronica looks at me, she's like, "How long could you make it?" And I said, "I would get off that boat. I would walk onto the shore. I'd look around. I'd be like, okay, I'm done." And I would just
you'd be like, "Oh fuck."
I go back. I'd be like, "Do you guys have something to drink? I'm fucking thirsty. You guys thirsty too? I got a soda I could have." Like, I would make it literally like 7 minutes. I would not make it through the first night. As soon as shit started crawling on me, I'm like, that's it. I'm done. No fucking way. You mean there's no bedroom here? Come on. I can't shut the door.
There's sometimes I think I'd like to just walk away and like just live in the woods by myself. But luck, I have just bad luck. I'd probably like take a walk like just through the woods, and I'd probably find myself in civilization. I have bad direction too. Oh my
bad direction.
God. My direction's so bad.
Yeah, you got to be pretty good at orienteering yourself through the woods. You've got to know, able to mark things, look at terrain, figure out where you're at. Like, I could never do any of that. I took orienteering in college. I failed it. I fucking failed it. I went out in the woods. We had to do this thing. And the night before we went out. So if you don't know what orienteering is like looking at a map that's not marked. And then you got to figure out with the terrain and like how everything is, get from point A to point B. Okay. It's very useful in the military and things of that nature, obviously. Well, I took a class because I thought it was interesting. I want to learn this. I think this is really cool. So I took a class to learn it. And I went to all the classes, high as fuck. And then on one Saturday, we had to do a orienteering out in the woods. And where I went to school, Athens, Ohio, there's a lot of there's places in Athens, Ohio that people go into, they don't come back out. It's like hillbilly area and like it's dangerous. And so they take us back in these woods and they're like, okay, guys, they're like, here's your compass. Here is your rough land. You need to go from here to here. And it broke us up into groups.
And there's like 3 people with me, and then they're like, well, you can stick together and you can try to figure it out, or you can do it on your own. And the other 2 guys are like, well, we're gonna try to do it on our own. And I was like, okay. So literally, I was like the last person they found. I was out in the middle of the woods. I couldn't find my way back. I didn't know anything. I was just like standing there and smoking cigarettes and like fucking mad. Like I was hungover as fuck. They had to come. It was like dark time. They put us out there at 9 a.m. They didn't find me till 7 p.m. the night before. That night. I was out there for 10 hours mad as fuck. They couldn't find me.
Oh man.
They didn't give me anything to find either. And it wasn't like that hard of a trail. It was pretty flat. Like there was nothing to really, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, this is stupid. I ended up like walking in a circle. I was like, wait a minute, I've been here before. I was like, I'm done. Yeah.
That's funny.
I failed the class. I got enough.
When I was like 13, we moved to this neighborhood that I'm in right now, and we lived in this house. And I was going to a new school. I had to make all new friends and everything. It wasn't going so well, but there was a carnival, and everybody wanted to go to the carnival. So they came, my friends at school. This was like 5th, 6th grade. So I had to be super young. But my friends came and picked me up at the house. Now, I know where the carnival is today. It's only 4 blocks away from my house. And my friends came. We walked to the carnival. The carnival let out, and I had to walk home by myself. It was 4 blocks away.
4 blocks?
Yeah. It took me about 7 hours to find my house. Just 4 blocks. Like, I could throw a rock and hit this place right now.
How old are you?
5th grade. How old are you? 5th, 6th grade?
Like 12.
Yeah.
Like 12.
My daughter's 13. She'll walk wherever. She knows exactly where to go.
Yeah, so you got lost. Did they have people out looking for you by then?
I finally found it. I finally found the park again and tried to remember how I got back to.
Are you lackadaisical? Are you just like, you don't really pay attention to things? That's the way I am. I don't really pay attention.
I'm a fucking space cowboy, dude. I'm a fucking space cowboy. Like I do it all the time. I've been somebody in the vape community actually lives in the neighborhood, and he's working with us now. I got him a job with what we're working, and so now I drive him home, and like we'll get into a conversation. I'll miss all these fucking turns. I don't mind fucking paying attention.
Yeah, me too.
Did it today. Yeah.
Like my favorite is when I go to the movie or like watch a movie with somebody, and like there'll be like a scene like where people are surprised. Maybe say, okay, I'll just give you a scene. Say you're like in a bank, and like a guy comes in with a machine gun and starts shooting people in the bank, and people are always like, "Oh, I would have dove behind that, and I would have done that." And I've been like, I just would have stood there and stared at him until he shot me. Like, I would have done anything. Like, does this guy have a gun? I think it's a gun. That's probably a gun. Holy shit, he really does have a gun. And I'd be sitting there looking at him until he fucking shot me, and then I'd be dead. That's me. That's me in a situation like I'm so lackadaisical about things. Like I don't realize things quickly. Like my brain's just like, what the fuck is going on? And
yeah, I think I just don't really fucking care. I don't really care what happens.
You don't care?
I think I
don't want to get shot. Once I realized he's going to shoot me, I'd be very upset. I think he's going to shoot me. Well, fuck, he just did. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, in that situation, yeah. I don't know what I would do in a situation like that.
So what time are you going live tonight, Nick? Do you need to get off here to go live?
I do, so I could take a shower and eat and then go live. I'm going to go live at 7:30. So I guess Fresh started going live at 9:30 at some point here.
I think so, yeah. He goes live on Tuesday now.
Yeah. Well, he's always went live on Tuesday.
No, he went live on Monday.
He did?
Yeah. At first it was him and Brian, and then it's him and Lumi live on Monday. And then they switched it. I guess it probably wasn't a whole bunch of people watching, so they switched it to today.
Yeah. So I'm able to go live at 7:30 and still do a 2-hour show. So 7:30-ish.
All right, we'll get out of here then. I don't know how to stop the stream. I have no idea how I started this or how I'm going to stop it. I'm just going to close Zoom out.
It's actually pretty important, though. You got to go. You see in the top left corner of Zoom?
Yeah.
You got to shut it off on YouTube and Zoom. Actually, you don't have to. You could just close out Zoom and it would.
It just says stop live stream.
Yes, but YouTube's still going to pick up some stuff. So when you stop that, it'll still pick us up for like a minute or so.
a minute.
Don't feel like, yeah. So don't like.
Don't start talking shit about people in the chat.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that guy.
Yeah.
That's not. That's how we want to do. All right, Nick. Thanks for coming on, dude. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, Nick.
Oh,
I'm so frustrated by it. You know, I got the new computer. I figured there's Waylon Jennings. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm hungry too. That's kind of why I wanted to stop the stream. I wasn't really being courteous to you.
No.
I was really because I'm hungry. I was like, I want to go fucking eat. I see what my wife is cooking up there. Hopefully something good.
I'm still thinking about Martians, dude.
You think about Martians?
Cowboy, I told you.
Would you procreate with a Martian if she was hot?
Why does she have to be hot? Yeah.
What if you mean you wouldn't care if she wasn't hot?
It's a Martian, dude. Imagine that. Imagine that.
That sounds creepy. I would creep me out.
How many subscribers would I get if I was like, I'm fucking first dude, fucking Martian? Would they be like, well, was she hot?
You would get a lot of subscribers.
I would.
You probably would also get some kind of disease that made your like skin fall off.
Probably even more subscribers.
They probably got a lot. You would get a lot. Death is a really good way to get subscribers on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Death is a really good way. Like if you have somebody dying on your channel, that you'll get a lot of views.
Yeah.
People love seeing that shit. There it goes. I lost like 5 subscribers when I I did. I really did.
I know a couple channels that die every fucking show. Got him. Zinger.
Got the zinger. Look at this guy. All right, guys. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic night. Make sure you tune in to Nick Fresh. Who else is on tonight? ST's on tonight. Make sure you tune in for that. I'll see you guys in there. Love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic night. Sorry about the streams and all that bullshit, but we'll see.